I'm double booked.
That's when you
I was already impressed with getting out.
I need it to show it from that panel.
Okay. So from the video and then click the arrow. Then you've got your for that one.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Well, we got you here, Tristan. I know last committee meeting you came in and it sounded like you had committed to a tech class.
Hey, are you gonna use the whiteboard at all?
I'm sure it will.
Okay, if you do, you might need to move.
You just pull it in the frame. Yeah.
Don't worry
about that.
I'll probably won't use it.
You're going live.
It's fine.
Okay.
I'll get with you after this class and figure out a day.
I like this one up in the draw. That's all. Okay. Right now, I've got mine based on the system, give me the integration of all of the systems and the ideal read the close flow. And I'll take your ops manual, reconcile two ways to see what I'm missing, but what I noticed maybe is missing.
I like that.
Give me a different perspective.
All right.
So.
Mark, am I set up? Am I ready?
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Zach.
What do you know about Google Suite, Google Voice and all that stuff?
Not to be dangerous, but KW's domain blocks Google Voice, so we can't actually utilize it. You have to do it under the catalyst sole domain. This gets a compliance thing for us. You can't use Google Search, Google Voice, or Google.
Has that always been the case, or has that changed sometimes?
As far as I know, it's all, at least as long as I've been a kid. I think it is in compliance with TCP.
There's some stuff with Google Home like stuff too. Like I'll ask it to, repeat something or make a phone call and it'll be like, to do that, you have to go to your settings. I'm like,
You'll say contact your domain administrator. Yeah, but if you do it under the catalyst sole, you'll be perfectly fine.
yeah. Well, that's the problem. We don't have everybody set up now.
Right.
And that's my biggest neg right now is comms, at least from our signs. Google Voice. I don't trust them.
There's a Google Voice.
I just don't trust Google Voice. And you're tapped on how many people you can forward that to and whatnot. I just, we're in the communication business and comms is most critical.
No, my biggest thing, like, and Sharon already found his work on the call lost two factor authentication for two MCAs. I'd rather route it to Google Voice tied to a chat than they can pull an email versus like trying to shoot a text or somebody now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's another thing I thought of. So we'll let you get going.
Did you watch the last part?
Yes.
Pretty good part.
I enjoyed it. MVP is looking silky out there until that logical W is already winning by so much and only being submitted. My perception of the title fight would be Jemiah submits in round 1 or 2, where DDP goes by decision out the window. He got absolutely unrolled.
Yeah. Those spinning elbows. That
got me back on track. I was like, okay, we're speeding up. Let's go.
Maybe I should move.
And then it was 25 minutes of round.
Comfortable, Heather? I said wherever you feel comfortable.
I'm ready. When you start, just do a quick intro and I'll trim everything out from before.
Intro.
Just like, hey, that's what we're gonna do. Session 5. And I'll
Session 5.
I'll pet everything before that.
Session 5.
It's on the screen.
Session 5.
Session.
And if you say it wrong, I'll straighten you out.
Appreciate you. Wait, this thing on? Doesn't sound like it's on.
It's not for in here, it's for the video. Because they're recording.
It's on.
That's a bit long.
Yes.
Okay. So let it run. Hey, you muted. I mean, it's muted.
That runs in tandem with that. So, like, both of them are picking up sound, it's better, but you're going to have to.
I think if you did it.
And that's the issue.
I like how I didn't hear it, so. Yeah, no problem. Alright. I'm good, thank you.
Are you good at that?
No. It's not on the week.
Also, almost about in.
What's that?
It's like sewer. You know. Hey, what? It's not well. After there's one today, she goes, oh, is that?
Usually that's true.
Are you kidding me? I came in here, walked the treadmill, didn't have the paperwork, just so I could be on time for the class.
Well, hey, that would open up your whole morning.
My husband and my in-law would be very happy. I told him I wasn't coming home until about 11:30. We're headed to Bard's down the right for Wednesday.
Fun. Where's the train going?
It's that, my old Kentucky home lunch train thing,
I see.
RJ Corman. And it
Oh,
goes up through all the breweries and bars now. I'm just gonna slide this one. If they're not gonna be loud.
hold on.
Like,
Perfect.
I don't pay for the sound. So how are you doing?
I'm surviving. No, I'm blessed. Just been busy lately, which is a good thing, both in the business and on the business.
You honestly.
Yeah, I co-operate the Catalyst Group with Sherry.
Sorry, you do all the same.
That's right.
Making all the connections, sorry.
That's
Too
right.
new, there's too many people.
Yeah, there is a lot of people.
And I think you see the same people all the time,
It's like looking at,
the 80-20 rule,
yeah,
there's only 20%.
that's true too. But it's like when you look at houses, after about 5 or 6, they all run together.
Yep. So, okay, perfect.
Well.
I will try to stay off my computer most of it.
So for this setup. Oh,
Listings that I just put up this week, so
heck yeah,
try to get them. You can sold.
that's the goal. Did you pick those up just this week or you have been?
One of them is one that I got as a referral.
Nice.
And I actually ended up having to take it off. Have them do some work on it. They needed to bushwhack around it and, power wash the deck and clean out some of their stuff, so we took it off and got it all cleaned up and then got new pictures I had Daniel do them. So. Maybe like new pictures.
Absolutely.
Alright,
I got, which we'll cover today, of course, we're in lead generation. I sold a lot of expireds in 2018. I got into business 2017 and, that was one of the missing links oftentimes.
yeah,
Number one is communication. A lot of times that agent or the seller hadn't heard from the agent since they signed the contract. They didn't know that their house was no longer on the market, et cetera, et cetera. That's the primary reason a lot of them sell. Bless you. Number two, typically price. But what I found oftentimes, not only communication, which is something easy us agents should be able to handle, is number three was the marketing, the pictures alone on some of these houses were hideous.
and that's what Bo was saying, it's not necessarily the pictures that sell it, it's the pictures that get people to want to go see it.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh. So, see,
Our job is to drive traffic through the door. There you go.
Like. Being around Bo and Tara's like drinking out of a water hydrant. I'm like,
Well, they say you're a product of the 5 people you surround yourself with.
Well, I find with people that are, I think that's why I like coming into the marketplace, is because I see who's being successful.
Yeah,
And then I just follow them around like a lost puppy dog.
success leaves clues.
So, yeah, go for it.
All right.
Let's do this. Help me with this whole generating leads.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's number one thing. Well, I'm Dustin Warren. Today is session 5, lead generation. One of my favorite things and one of our most critical activities for our business. But that goes for sales in general too, I would imagine. Because we're all in a lead generation business from marketing and prospecting. So we're gonna hop on in here today. So bear with me because I got my pages a little out of order. All right. So just a reminder of the 4 parts, the objective of designing an action plan for each, real estate expert, lead generation, lead follow-up, and transaction. Today, again, we're going to be covering the lead generation part of this section. We must find people to work with. These people are known as leads. They fuel our business. In the they help it grow present and future. Leads are responsible for not only growth potential and protecting us against market shifts, but it also leads us into the next segment, which is lead follow up. And I think those are the 2 most fundamental in real estate. Of course, you can't follow up with a lead if you don't have a lead, right? So today we're going to talk about getting those leads, connecting with people, and trying to, convert them into a client. Yeah, go.
because. Private list.
Yeah.
So I've been in PCA and I've already been dealing with a whole lead generating. And for 4 days of homework,
Yeah.
the daily success system, lead generating, and one of the things that they want is 10 contacts added to your database a day.
Yeah.
So how do you, Dustin, add 10 people? Like honestly, because I can add somebody if I like have a really good conversation with them. But I'm not gonna add you if you're just checking me out at the grocery store.
Sure.
So how do you get those 10 leads?
So there's a lot of different ways you can approach that. It's a great question though, because on the surface it can be overwhelming. Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot easier for someone that hasn't established a database yet, because your sphere of influence alone should be able to, help you with your homework for the entirety of the night.
Into my command, when I got my license, I literally uploaded my entire phone contact list into me.
Nice.
So I have pretty much the same thing. I think in command I've taken like the doctor's office.
Yeah.
And those sort of the vet's office and the MetroNet, who we have for internet, those sort of phone numbers I've archived.
Gotcha.
But for the most part, my command and my phone match.
Yeah.
So 500 contacts right there.
Well, let me ask you, before you got your license and before you embarked on that activity, where did those people in your phone come from?
Family and church.
Family and church. Okay. So is there anyone that's not in there that would fit those boxes, family or church? Okay. So those would be more than likely the first people. That's the lowest hanging fruit. That's, I guess, the least heavy.
if I have some way of accessing, contacting them, or even for family, texting another cousin and being like, hey, you have so-and-so's phone number so I can call them.
Mm-hmm.
And then get that phone number and call them and say, hey, I've been trying to get in touch with you, I need an updated address, cause I have family all over
Yeah.
the country.
I always like to lead with value. In order for me to get something from them, I got to give them something, right? So, as it relates to your question and adding contacts and getting as much of their info to add to your database as possible, I lead with value on the front end of that. Hey, I send out a monthly newsletter. We have, giveaways, we raffle things off, or we have events. And you came to mind. I want you to be included. I looked up though. I don't have a phone number, an updated address for you. And what would be the best email for me to keep you in the loop on everything we do?
Sounds good, perfect. That's the thing that's been floating around in my brain over the last 4 days is like, how do I get 10 contacts? Like, that just seems.
Another way to look at that is if you don't have a list of preferred contractors, a general contractor, electrician, plumber, stuff like that, that might be a good place to start because you're going to need those people at some point along this journey. Yeah. Reason I bring that up is because you're going to be able to assemble kind of like a one-page resource of those contractors and vendors. And that's another value add that you can lead with. Well, hey, I know not everybody buys and sells every day, and that's not the reason for my call. We go to church together, or hey, we've got mutual friends. I know good contractors are hard to find. Not only do I want to keep you up to date with the stuff that we're doing or the events we're having, I'd love to share that with you, that list of preferred contractors, because I trust them. I know they do good work, and they're not going to charge you an arm and a leg as long as you've had that experience with them. And whether you need that now or you need that later, just let me know. Yeah. Is that something you'd be interested in now? Well, what's the best email for me to send that to? Yep.
Okay, just make it flow. All right.
That's it. And then you get on Facebook, find birth dates, stuff like that. You got it. So I love that you're doing the homework though, because you get out what you put in, and that's my favorite thing about real estate. There's not too many jobs that I've worked where you get out what you put in. And while it's a grind, I think you reap what you sow.
Definitely hoping that's true. I'm putting in a lot of hours.
Yeah, it takes a lot of legwork up front because you're starting a business, number one, and if you don't have a huge sphere of influence, then it's a lot of hours, a lot of energy, but it's worth it. No, that's all. That's all part of today. We're talking about lead generation. We're talking about your homework. That wasn't a hijack at all. So let's hear about yesterday's success system progress. You told me about the contacts, adding them to the database.
I've been doing from PC. I actually just been continuing my
Love that.
my D2, my DTs. And then yesterday with Tristan, we were doing a value proposition. So I wrote a statement, I showed it to him, he's like, you need to shorten it.
Yeah. Or you
And wordy.
same. I'm super worried. And
It's super wordy. I'm like, I probably could have gotten to the point like 10 sentences ago, but
yeah,
we're still talking.
Well, at least you got sentences. I'd have a paragraph like that, maybe 2 periods at best. Now, what you can do to account of the leverage, because KW model is all about leverage, is fortunately with technology, you can take a picture of that, pop it into, an AI, GPT.
Yeah, probably put it in the gym.
Summarize this, and that'll help you a great deal. So that's your mission statement?
That's the value proposition.
Value proposition,
So
yeah. Your 60-second.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Knowledge from years of real estate transaction coordinating, use of KW systems and contracts, positive and faith-driven attitude, strong marketing and negotiation skills that protect and serve my clients. My belief is that real estate is about relationships, not just transactions, and I am committed to living that out through my work. I am backed by KW's culture of integrity, teamwork, and growth. The support of KWC Marketplace, Market Center, your one, provides me with the ability to offer my clients both personal care and the best tools in the industry to succeed.
Love that. Love that.
It is wordy, and I need to chop it down, but I did tell him that's the elevator version
Yeah.
versus the one that I had that's on 3 pages.
That's
And he's like,
the train version. No, I think you got a great start there. And the second half of that especially was more consumer facing because that's what it's for, right? It is to appeal to the consumer. Can definitely summarize that, but I think you've got all the key elements in there that you want. You know, because you got to think about what does a buyer want? What does a seller want? What does an investor want? You know, try to summarize that into that 60-second elevator speech. Because when somebody asks you what you do, wherever you might be, you want to be able to tell them as quickly, as efficiently as possible in a provocative way, right?
right. So I'm still working on it, still honing on it, but I thought that yesterday was really good to really think about, I miss Joseph, but he was always about providing value. You need to provide value.
Yeah.
And I think yesterday's was like, oh, how am I providing value and what do I offer?
Yeah. I mean, if we
That's
think about our competition, aka technology, the one thing that we have that we, you know, as far as I know at the current moment is that human connection, right? Well, we can't solely rely on that to keep getting business and keep winning against technology. What does technology offer? Well, it offers value, right? Convenience. Quickness. So we not only have that human connection feature, but we have to constantly be looking to provide value because that's what technology is doing. It's getting better and better each day in terms of adding value. So
Quote unquote.
yeah, exactly.
We need to too.
And we have to, and that's why I'm always open. And usually during the consultation, I invite the client that at any point during this process, if you have any feedback for me, positive, negative, anything in between, I appreciate all forms of feedback because I'm a business owner. I don't take it personal. I'm constantly looking for ways to improve my business, to improve my services.
Yeah, exactly. And I think something else with the whole technology thing, I have a brother that does, computers, he does sex and crime
Oh yeah,
stuff, but he always reminds me, the computer is only as smart as its creator.
that's right. That's right.
So we are technically still smarter than a computer.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to hum.
Mm-hmm. We still have to strike the keys to make it work for now.
For now.
So other than the contact or the adding the contacts to the database,
It's my homework that I've been kind of struck. The rest of it has come kind of natural.
perfect. I'm missing that homework. So what did that consist of?
It's just the last portion. So, oh, here, I'll show you. It's in the book. I
Is it
think
the same
that's
each time?
the only thing I don't think so
Oh yeah, you got
at the very end of the day. So it has the aha moment. And then your daily success system. So what are you doing? And
So-
then a conversation sheet. And you're supposed to write who you talk to, their phone number and any notes, and then add that to your.
I guess there's 10 blocks there.
Mhm.
That's perfect. I've used a contact form probably the first 18 months.
every single day that they have, I don't mind my, see, I did hybrid, so. You're very bad. service. But it was-
Love
Yeah.
that.
So it's the very end.
So I saw something on there, the social media stuff. What is that, the
Yes.
1051?
Yes.
That would be another form of potentially finding contacts to add to your database. Maybe somebody that, you know, missing from your phone currently. Maybe you went to high school with them. Maybe you know them from a past life, whatever that might be. Or just adding someone new that you just met and saying, "Hey, it's so nice running into you. Appreciate your time. Thanks for the chat, whatever that sounds like for you. I'd love to keep you in the loop with all the cool stuff that we're doing, whether it be giveaways, events, Pi Day. Is that something that I can include you on?"
Yeah. I think I need, that's the biggest thing for me is expanding that sphere because unfortunately, not making excuses just where I'm at. Not from here.
Yeah, same.
I didn't go to high school. I was in homeschool.
Oh,
She's interested in this.
Yeah.
Since I was one. Yeah, didn't do college, like, kind of just, I hurt myself when I was young.
yeah. Well, no, not necessarily. We all have our own past, and while the odds may not be, you know, hugely stacked in your favor, they're
Just obstacles.
they're just obstacles. That's right. That's it. And as I was saying earlier, I think what you reap what you sow in this business, as long as you're willing to put in what's necessary to get the end result you're in pursuit of. And that's why, you know, lead generation is one of my favorite things because I didn't have a huge sphere of influence. You graduated with one yourself. I graduated with 38 people. That's how small my high school was. I did go to a couple of colleges. I don't know that I've gotten any business from those two schools. However, I have had, you know, I could probably count on one hand how many pieces of business I've gotten from my hometown. Hometown of about 1,200, 2 hours south of here. And, you know, I think that is slowly building. But as someone that is not native to the area, it requires a lot of initial input, like we've been talking about, which is what we're gonna talk about for the remainder of the day, and where those people are coming from. Because the name of the game is database. There's a reason why Gary Keller has invested and emphasized as much as he has into a database. I mean, every business requires a database. If a business doesn't have a database, I would be willing to bet they're not going to last very. You know, Amazon's got anything you shop for online, you're in their database, right? They're dripping some kind of campaign on you, email, social, whatever. Same goes here in our business. Just because, you know, this is a more personal business doesn't mean it doesn't operate the same way or require the same fundamentals.
Data mining. I mean.
Oh yeah.
Reason why you go search for a dog bed that as soon as you get back on Amazon, everything that's coming up is dog beds. So you just have to take that mindset, go, okay, how can I turn that into something that I'm doing a business?
That's right. And depending on who you talk to, you know, coal's no longer the most valuable resource. Data is. Right. And I'll give you a quick story why that database is so important, and feeding that database periodically on a monthly, at the very least, a newsletter. I got I helped a for sale by owner sell their property back in 2019. They'd only owned it for a year, and it was a potential short sale situation where we had to get approval from the bank in order to close. And it's easy to be in a relationship with that person when you're going through that transaction, right?
Right.
And this is the transactional mindset versus the relationship. And once you get out of that, we can make all the excuses we want. We're busy realtors. But the client doesn't want to hear that, right? And when the client doesn't hear from us, that's essentially what they hear.
It's like a breakup.
That's right. Long story short, I hadn't talked to that person since then. And luckily, I've been in about 3 databases since then. And somehow, some way, she's in the current that she's been shoot, I just drew a blank. She has somehow made her way into the database from, exporting those over the years and importing them into the new. And she reached out to me a couple months ago and said, "Hey, I'm looking for a house. Here's been my experience. I started looking about 12 months. The agent just keeps shooting everything down, blase, blase. And I know you helped me in the past. I don't have anything signed with her now. Is that something you can help with?" And I went into her contact inside the database, and she was looking at our newsletter. So she remembered.
So what you're saying is I need to take some time in my day and create news.
Of some sort, or subscribe to a service, have ChatGPT do it. I know Command has some really
Well, it's, I can do Chat GPT or Gemini,
yeah.
but like. Actually taking the time to sit down and say, okay, what do I want to
Yeah,
put in? Okay.
that's it. Give you a couple examples of what we do is usually we have like a community event section, things that are going on this month. We have done a bi-weekly newsletter with the first one of the month being a more so like personal, like what's Heather looking forward to this month? What are some of the things that's going on? And little snapshot of the market, and always anything you put out have a call to action. What is that? That's a question. That's a provocative thought that makes someone go from thought to action, right? Curious about what your home could sell. Curious about what your home could sell for in the current market. Looking to buy. Obviously, the stronger it is, the better response you're going to get. But nonetheless, feed that database. First step, though,
Create.
it, build
Okay.
it,
Good tip.
because it will pay you back tenfold. Now, that's the first part. The second part is being relationship, or the third part is being relationship. So build it, feed it, be in relationship with it.
It's making those connections. The hard.
That's
Once I've made that connection.
And that's the cool thing about lead generation, because it's essentially it summarized, making that connection. And on the surface, that sounds scary. And oftentimes we can get in our heads of like, I don't know if that person wants to talk to me, or that person looks busy, or that person's probably doing that, or this, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, all it takes is 6 seconds of courage. And
Side note, like I don't have kids, but I can go hang out at the dog park.
that's right. That's right. You got fur baby.
I got 2 fur.
2 fur babies, right?
Those are conversations.
They require just as much as kids sometimes. So you've already shared the challenges you've encountered. Love that. Do you have an accountability partner?
Right now,
Mhm.
honestly, I would say that's Steven. Of course, he gets calls all the time
Mm.
because he's PC. covered.
Right.
I've been PC.
Yeah.
I'm like, Steven, what do you think is?
Has he been a good one?
He's been
Yeah.
good. And then I also, unfortunately, poor Philip, I used to be his transaction coordinator. Philip Wood,
Oh, yeah.
So we were on the phone last night and I was asking him if they on some stuff.
Okay.
So he still follows up with.
Well, good. That's always good to have a relationship with a previous business partner, employer.
We were trying to work something out on the listing that I just put up on Prairie, which if you know anybody that wants a house for 260 in Lexington. Just right down, it's on Prairie, it's off of it is off of, now the name of the street is. Maybe Cannon Shop,
Oh, yeah. I know where you're at, 4517.
oh, right near Parkland. And
Yeah.
just 10 minutes out.
3 bed, 2 bath,
3 bed, 2 bath.
1200, 1300, 1100.
About, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a tad over our current buyer's budget.
It's a tad.
Yeah. Well, he's shopping up to 250, prefers be like 230, 240.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
it's online. Monday, and it's Chelsea and I are co-listing it.
What would you rate the condition on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being it's fully updated, no repairs needed?
Probably an 8.
Okay.
A couple things need to be done, but the owner just redid all the flooring, cleaned it all up, redid the kitchen. It's, I believe, pretty new appliances or brand new.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Well,
it was rented,
Okay.
and then he got rid of the
Tenant.
tenant and pretty much flipped it himself. And then he's decided he wants to just sell it, clean up.
Okay.
But yeah, it's got brand new carpet, brand new tile, brand new vinyl in the living room. He's chopped down the tree, got rid of that out in the backyard. It has
Too close to the foundation or just wanted to?
just slab. And then, I think the couple bedrooms are upstairs, but they have the main bedroom downstairs with the laundry room.
So, okay. So it's more than one story, got it. Well, I'll look it up and see.
I can send it to you,
Yeah, go ahead and text it to me.
but yeah, if you know anybody.
I'll keep it in mind. It'll probably be gone after this weekend.
Focus.
What else have you been working on with the accountability piece of it? Is there anything specific that they are hoping you accomplish during those calls?
Mainly just updating my database. I know when Lexi was here, she was like, not just updating the database, but actually making sure it's complete,
Mm-hmm.
because there are. I think we figured out 9 pieces of information that are required for it to be 100%.
Oh, wow.
In the command system. And those pieces of information are name, email, address, phone number,
Those are the heavily weighted or most.
birthday, career, a tag, and visas.
Yeah.
And then that's 100%, that's 100% filled out.
Contact, yeah, which adds to your overall
Okay.
database health. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Tags are more so, of course, to kind of segment your database or,
Smart plans.
that's right. The career piece, the birthday piece, essentially any piece of information that you can store in there, that's going to create an opportunity for you to connect with that person. Birthday, happy birthday, right? That's an easy one. Career change, or something going on in that industry or within that person's company. Hey, I happen to notice this was going on. What do you know about that? All right, so I have page numbers here.
It's not really page numbers, but you're on slide,
Oh yeah, I've not been
3,
doing that at all.
4. 6 core competencies.
Wish I had like a little clicker. Do I have a clicker? I feel like I've seen people with clickers in here. This one? I'll be darned. What am I doing over here? Huh. Wow.
Look at you, oh man.
Now I'm ready. My fear of failure was greater than my fear of lead generating. That's the most truest thing I've heard in real estate.
But you can't fail if you don't try.
Wait, say it again?
I said, that's what people think is that you can't fail if you don't try. but
Oh,
that
right,
is-
right. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, I think that is fun. But you're right. People think that, there's always tomorrow. And just because I'm not trying today doesn't mean I'm not going to try tomorrow. And if I never try, then I'll never fail. But that leads to a life by default rather than one by design. Yeah. Um, so we know the 6 core competencies of a business, right? What are they? Lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments. That's probably the most important on the front end. Those are lead indicators. How many leads am I adding to my database on a periodic basis? How many of those leads am I converting to an appointment? How many of those appointments am I converting into clients, which is number 2 there, percent, or I guess number 2 is the appointment itself, present to buyers and sellers and get an agreement signed. 3, show buyers and market sellers. 4, write and negotiate contracts. 5, coordinate the sale to closing. 6, manage the money. That's pretty daggone simple, right? Essentially, what is that? What when we look at the 6 core competencies, what is that breaking down for us?
How to run a business.
I run our business too, yeah, or any business.
In the last thing I did, they've been going over this, but the lead generating, capturing, and converting. It's not just about filling your database with phone numbers and emails, it's actually converting into the.
That's
Which
right.
is the other section of that I struggle with. You're gonna get a text message. Just think about it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, essentially, these are the 6 jobs we have as business owners, as real estate agents. Fortunately, as you grow and your time becomes less and less, you'll look for leverage, bringing other people or tools, services on. Nonetheless, this is as fundamental as it gets, right? And that's why they call it the 6 core competencies. Seems simple on the surface, of course. All we got to do is lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments, meet with those appointments, those people, advise them on what they're hoping to accomplish and formulating a plan, and then, servicing those clients and then writing contracts. Like if you do really 2 of those 5 things or 6 things on a weekly basis, it's going to take no time to get traction and really start to grow your business. Difficult for the 5 lead generation sessions. So lead generation is job number 1. Obviously, as you can see it there on the screen, we know that it fuels our business, helping us reach our goals we've set for ourselves. The more leads we have, the more business and success you can have. That's usually the first place we go if we're not in line with our goals. If we're not on target with our goals, well, do we have enough clients? We don't have enough clients, do we have enough appointments? We don't have enough appointments, do we have enough leads? Well, fast track that, you can just jump to the front end. Do we have enough leads coming in? Usually you can tell there if you've got enough to support your current goal. And then it's all conversion ratios after that, right? Because if you've got enough leads coming in, but you don't have enough appointments, well, where's the disconnect? Where's the gap? Where's the opportunity at? Can I connect with them sooner when they come into my system? Is it what I'm saying? List goes on and
Or
on.
not saying.
Or not saying, yeah. Is it, are they actually leads? Or are they just more so database contacts? And that's okay, because you need both. It is understandable that there is a lot of fear around lead generating, even though we all know it's the most important aspect of our business. Let's be honest with ourselves. Who is having any of these thoughts as we dig into lead generation? There's no pressure. Raise your hand. So here's a few that they provided for us. Lead generation fears and myths. I think lead generation is really difficult. I don't have time to lead generate. I don't know what to say. I'm afraid of making mistakes. Guess what? These are the exact fears that Gary Keller had when he started out in the business. You can read about those in Shift on page 52. And this is what he discovered to erase his limited thinking. Jot these down in your participant guide, because this is how you shift that mindset.
I don't have the slides.
Perfect. Oh, so you got the slides with all that stuff on there? Yeah. You better be careful. We're gonna. You're talking to the education committee chair, so I will keep that in mind, because I'm always needing people to teach something.
Put me after doing my first agent intro on my listing out at the lake, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna.
That's the best way to master something and learn more about it. So I was confused. His fear myth. I think lead generation is really difficult. He was confused. He was confusing effort with enjoyment. Lead generation is actually easy. It's just not fun. I don't have time to lead generate. What Gary found is I had an issue of making time to lead generate and protecting that time, because we all have the same amount of time every day. So if somebody else is, that's right. That's right. So, what are you saying yes to right now that's not leading or aiding your pursuit? Because when we say yes to things, what do we know? We're saying no to an infinite amount of things, right? That's opportunity cost. I don't know what to say. That's usually a lot of new agents' like biggest hurdle.
That would be mine.
Yeah. And I would say, I don't know if we get into it in the booklet, I can't recall. The coolest thing about all this stuff in real estate, especially what we're talking about at the moment, is there's a plan that you can set up to overcome this stuff. So specifically on not knowing what to say, well, how could you know what to say if you've never said it?
Well, and I think that is where I find the PC coaching is extremely important, because I can come in here and have the conversation with Steven
Mm-hmm.
or any of the other people that show up, and they may say something that makes me think differently, or I can practice on them, so I'm not practicing on this client.
That's it. Yep.
Very.
So from personal experience, I was heavy into scripts.
Yeah.
At first, it was weird, I don't know, trying to think back, it's been a long time, 7, 8 years, but I can still feel that feeling, that first day, that first week going into script practice. And, having a team of 5 to 10 people in a circle going through their scripts. coming from a small town like I'm from, small high school like I'm from, having the accent that I do that I've always been in my head about, I was so in my head, my stomach could feel it. And it's crazy looking back because after that first week, it got so much easier. And those scripts not only taught me what to say, but it gave me the confidence to say it, to have more conversations, right? Last but not least, I'm afraid of making mistakes. I found that lead generation is nothing that more than a set of tasks and skills that are well documented. That's pretty much it.
I think that's the other one that I'm not a perfectionist, but I don't like to get things wrong.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does. Especially
Analysis first.
exactly, and that's what that creates, especially as a fellow perfectionist somewhat. I know that leads to a singular road, and that is what you just said, analysis paralysis. Um, Best thing that you can do in this business is know what you know and know what you don't know, and be able to communicate that to clients, and as well as what I don't know, I know somebody that does, and I'm going to exhaust my efforts to find out that information.
Yeah, I think the biggest clients that I've been working with, when they were as a newer agent, is if they ask me a question, you know, I don't know.
It's a great question.
That's a great question. Let me look into that and get back to you.
What other questions do you have?
Yeah, and then actually make. I don't know, not necessarily a show, but make them see that I'm writing their question down and that I am going to call them back, and then. As soon as you get in the car after the show and be like.
Yeah. So what is that? What does
And
that?
then being able to text them 20 minutes later and be like, here's the answer.
So what does that demonstrate to them?
That you're learning and knowledge.
You're listening to them, and they're important, and you're responsive as an agent. And that's going to, be indicative of the type of service you're going to provide them the rest of the way. And more importantly, that's that human piece to it. Like, we're all human. We all make mistakes. I think the biggest mistake that most agents make is assuming they know what they don't know, or just ad-libbing because they feel like that's what the client wants to hear. But at the end of the day, the client just wants to work with another human that's a professional in this industry that's going to be honest. And I think that demonstrates that honest piece, right?
Right.
When we can admit that we don't know everything, then
Well,
that helps build that connection because we're human.
if you're willing to admit that you don't. And that you're going to find out, one, they know that you learned something because of the question that they asked.
Mm-hmm.
And two, they know that if you're answering the question, you obviously know or think you know the answer.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've made the pattern of saying, hey, you know what, I don't know this, let me go find out. They feel a little more comfortable when you do answer the question.
That's right. Yeah. Because if you have an answer for everything,
Then they think you're know-it-all.
then they think you're a know-it-all. And while, all your answers may be facts or accurate, it's not to say that can't create a little bit of a hurdle for you. But nonetheless, I think that just keeps everything true. And I think as long as you lead with your heart, and one of my favorite things about KW is, I think about this more so, really not enough, but more so when I'm in a difficult situation. If I lead and come from curiosity and contribution, I really can't lose. And when we do that, we don't cheat nobody. We don't cheat them. We don't cheat ourselves, because if we assume to know something we don't know, we're cheating them from knowing, and we're cheating ourselves from knowing and growing.
I think that's something that I really enjoy about. Totally off of the lead generation, but what I do enjoy about Algorithm culture is like. Doing the MRE and I'm slowly working through that, that's a lot of.
It's a real estate Bible.
Yeah. Is that it's not all about money. Especially, looking at a guy that already has all of it.
Sure.
But, him saying that a lot of times his goals aren't money based, they're self-growth, and he knows that with that self-growth, it will bring money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is something that's made me step back and go, okay, so maybe I don't set my goal to be X, Y, Z amount of money in the year. It's what are these things that are going to grow me as a person, as a human, not just as an agent. And then I can know that if I'm growing in that respect, my wallet will count.
That's right. So give me an example there.
For example, lead generate.
Yeah.
Since that's the topic of today. Learning how to have those conversations,
Mm-hmm.
learning how to actually convert that conversation from, hey, how are you doing? How's the family? To a, hey, let's get coffee and talk about real estate.
That's it. And I think that's spot
And
on.
a lot of people, myself included, don't have those skills sometimes, which is where PC comes in, and that this company offers that.
Mm-hmm.
To say, okay, hey, let's script,
Mhm.
practice, and then go work it out.
Yeah.
Go do it.
That's
Go
it. And you know, you're not starting from
do teamwork.
that's it. Yeah. So yeah, learning, practicing, implementing. Where I was gonna go there.
Lead generating, converting.
The skill, yeah. I think you're spot on there. You have to be a student on the game, in the game being real estate. And if you want to get good at lead generating, well, you have to really submerge yourself in that aspect of our business. You know, what even is lead generation? Well, the Red Book will break it down very clear. You got two types, marketing, prospecting, which we'll get into. Lead generation is the number one key to being successful in real estate. It doesn't matter how great you are at selling houses. At the end of the day, we don't sell houses, do we, Heather?
No.
We sell services. And we don't have people to sell services to, then we don't have a business. That's it. That's it.
So
Yeah. But it's exactly that because I don't know about you, but it's hard for me to imagine I'm convincing somebody to sell or buy a 200, 300, 500, maybe $1 million house, right? It's going to sell itself. I just got to make sure that I provide the services, I provide the information so that my client feels confident and comfortable that that's the right one. If no one knows you're in the real estate business of selling houses, and if they do not feel connected to you in a way that has them reach out when they're ready to sell, why are you in real estate? And everything you said a second ago, Heather, I don't think you're starting from scratch necessarily because I don't think you'd be here if you didn't have the gift of gab already, right? And I think that lead generation, that scripting, that dialogue piece is more so it's refining that gift of gab, right? Molding it so that you can be
it's
efficient.
knowing what to say and when to say it. I think that's, I joke, but I tell Bo, I just need it. I just need to have the computer at home.
Yeah, I'd love to have low spirit in them.
So fast when I'm like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
there's like 5 things that you just said in that 2 sentences that I would have never thought of.
Yeah. Well, he's a master of the game. He's been in this industry for how long? Long time. And yeah, and even before real estate, I know Bo's a sales OG, and he was in I think auto sales, maybe RV campers. I can't even remember, but he's a gem. Whether I mean, you can sell one thing, you can sell anything. I'm a firm believer in that because what did we just say?
There's a little bit different though. You light a candle and it's $20.
Yeah. It's a little bit easier to sell. But at the end of the day, did they buy that can or did they buy you? Yeah, a little bit of both.
It did teach my husband the other day, I'm thinking that there should be a always fans for Ringster.
Oh, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's some.
There should just be a website where all the realtors can go and get paid just to share their.
Just to share information, yeah. Yeah. I'd say there's a few on there. So I've got great news. You already have two key components to lead generation, a sphere of influence and a database. You've heard of a sphere of influence. I think we've already discussed it today. You know what that stands for, right?
Yeah. This is the part that really kills you when Tara or Bo goes over this and they're like, hey, you have 500 people in your database. This is the amount of money you should be generating off of that. And you're like, well, I haven't seen $1 of that. Where's it going?
Yeah. Well, if it was immediate, that would be nice, right? Unfortunately, it does take some time with a database to convert it into business. As we said, first step, you got to establish it, then you got to feed it, and then you got to connect with it on a personal level. And most of those people, I mean, it's hard to say who in there
But
might
I
be
did get
ready.
the very first referral off of this whole thing because I messaged somebody that she was a high school teacher in Sunday school, Sunday school teacher, and I've stayed in contact with her
It's a good
for
contact.
many years. And her husband was Marine Corps, so they've moved all over the country. They're currently in Bedford, Indiana.
Okay.
He's getting ready to retire. They're moving back to South Carolina, and she's like, I see all your posts are going into realty, and we're listing the house with somebody here that we already know, but do you have a referral for me down in South Carolina?
Very
So
cool.
I've
Heck yeah.
already gotten the agreement, both signed it, it's already done deal.
Nice.
Consider with the realtor.
You found them on command or very cool. What part of South Carolina?
It is in Salem,
Okay.
right next to Lake Osaka, Jasaka.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, just like that. And I didn't bring that up earlier, but that's another way that you can add contacts to your database, right? Is reach out to the people that's already in there. Who should I be connecting with? Who do you know that might be looking to buy or sell in the next 12 months?
Right.
Hey, that's okay. Appreciate you taking a moment to think about that. You come across someone sometime in the future, all I ask is, keep me in mind. Just looking for an opportunity to interview for a job. No obligation there, not trying to be, high
Well, and
pressure.
depending on who you connect with and actually somebody else, I messaged her. And come to find out, her husband is a realtor with KW in Tampa, Florida.
Very cool.
So we've already connected on command, and he's like, if I know anybody that's moving to.
Yeah. You got him in your database? Yep. Put him on a drip too. I got a referral about this time last year. And it was downtown Lexington. It was a Nashville realtor. And we got her closed nonetheless. About a month ago, I got a call from an agent in Arizona for a referral. Well, how did he find me? He knew the Nashville agent. Nashville agent gave him my name.
That's awesome.
So I got a referral from a referral. And I got them both in my database. So goes to show consumers, buyers, and sellers aren't the only people that should be in there. Our peers, our agents in other markets need to be in there as well, because that's a great opportunity within itself.
So I'm hoping if she ever hears of anybody coming this trip, send them out.
All right, now let's take the number of home sales by those you know and trust and the people. So your sphere of influence.
Okay.
let's take the number of home sales by those you know and trust and the people they could refer to you by multiplying by the typical commission here. The typical commission fee, I know when we're setting goals and whatnot, we use 7,500. You know, each individual person can determine theirs based on their production levels, depending on how long they've been in the business. But some might take that approach. Some might go off their market average. Rule of thumb, we've just been using. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, if you sell in Lexington and you cover all the way down to Danville and Harrisburg, like those are somewhat two different markets, but they're all starting to blend together now.
Alright, so let's actually do this.
Yeah.
Alright, so in my command. I go to. command. I'm gonna go off of the contacts that I have, it's not completely cleaned up, I'm still working on it. But it says I have 477.
Alright.
Do I use that or my phone? Because my phone, I feel is a little bit of a liar, because I have multiple.
Well, since-
meetings sometimes.
Well, since you've already
doctors.
taken them from your phone and put them in your computer, I would say go off what's
Off
in,
command.
yeah, off of command.
So 477,
Uh-huh.
alright, and then potential closing opportunities. Is A times, where is that 81.81?
That's industry average. That's actually, what is that, 8.1%?
Is that Keller Williams, is that real estate, what is that?
I'm almost certain that's real estate in general. Going off of several different stats, such as majority of people buy and sell every 5 years. I think that's a huge part of it. So that gets you down to 20%. I don't know how exactly they arrive at that 8.1%, but I know there's a methodical way to it.
Okay.
So you would take that 477.
So 477 times 0.081,
That's right.
and that it gets me 38 point, we're gonna go with 6.6.
You ever sold a 0.6 of a house?
No,
I caught
but that's
39.
like 2.5 kids.
Yeah.
I wanna know where that 0.5% of the child is.
Yeah, right.
What is that, like, are we expecting what? So we're gonna say 39,
39.
okay?
And
then.
potential referrals in database.
So 477 times.
That was actually 0.10.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that, okay,
Yeah.
alright, 10%.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe, you know, your sphere for
So
every
that's
10,
48,
they'll refer you a piece of business.
48,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually 47.7, but 48, and then total potential would be B and C added together, so 39 plus 48, 87. I hate. Okay,
And then your typical commission fee.
are we looking at a $200,000 house?
Well, I use 7,500, and where that number comes from, I think is, let's see. $300,000 price point, and just, you know, underestimating commission at 2.5%.
So let me throw some more math. If
Yeah.
cause I just got onto Chelsea's team.
Mhm.
She charges a flat fee of $5.99 for any transaction, so we charge that. And then she takes a 35% cut of our commission. So would I be calculating average commission?
I'd say
for
do you,
that?
what's gonna be coming to you? Right,
That's why I'm like,
yeah,
alright,
I mean, you could do both, but I think the idea is, what's that in your pocket? Because this is to incentivize you to work that database. Because I told you that one instance where I hadn't talked to that client that I helped sell 4 or 5 years ago, and by accident I got lucky because that other agent dropped the ball. Had it not been for that, I would have never got that piece of business. Moral of the story there is I just fed the database. She got a monthly newsletter. I didn't go the extra mile in maintaining that relationship. Had I done that or do that with all of my clients since I've been in real estate, it's untelling how big, how much business we would be doing.
alright, so since I have one that's already worked out at a $200,000, I'm gonna use that, so my commission would be about 2,300.
Yeah.
If I get more, I'd rather that, but. Let's go with the lower number, so I'm done.
Yeah. Anything more is just icing on the
On the
cake.
cake, yes, okay, so. That would be $2,300 time, no, plus. Plus 80.
No, it'd be times.
It would be times. Told you, I hate that. Wrong business to go into for not anything. I actually thought that that was what I was gonna fail on the PSI. I blew through all those questions, the ones that I failed on were the really random sketchy ones that they asked me, like, if your broker dies, who gets the transaction for XYZ? And I'm like,
Right. I don't even know that.
we just.
They were so confusing on that stuff. But luckily we have instruments, we have tools that help us with that math. Yeah.
200,000. We're just
Good.
gonna go with that, 200.
At least 200. I got 223, which I'm sure is what you got. But think about that. I mean, a device you already use daily has potential to become powerful tools for your business. All you gotta do is use it.
And then we'll do the little concert ratings. Depending on the year, but yeah. And that is what makes you go like,
Oh,
that's why I'm in all these classes, that's why I'm practicing. Because next year, I'm gonna see that,
oh yeah, yeah. You're gonna start seeing a return.
that's why I'm gonna pay for it.
Bold, changed my perspective. My first year.
I'm like, man, girl. If I can be up 4,000% over last year,
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Yeah, it changed my perspective drastically when I took it in 2017. I went from really just spinning my wheels that, from March until September. Bowl came around October, and that was really the turning point for my business, for me
Okay, so
personally.
That's the one, okay.
Now it's been modified several times since then because of, shifts in the market. However, I think it's still good.
I went with Philip
Right.
last year for the first two sessions, two sessions, whatever they offered before you signed up.
Yeah.
Cause he wanted me to see what it was, I was curious. And oh my gosh, it was so.
Oh yeah, it's
Just those two
incredible.
sessions.
Yeah.
And that was before I had my license.
Yeah. And of course, just like in here, you get out what you put in, because how we participate in here is how we perform out there. So, committing to the coursework.
the thing I will say too, is I've been telling my husband, I may not have gone to school, and I may. I may not have gone to school, I may not have gone to college, he's older than me, he went to a school,
Yeah,
he went to a college, he has a 4-year degree, he's still doing contract with people, I'm like, give me a call.
yeah, you got a lot of contacts. And you know, while you didn't go to a formal institution, I mean, every day is a school day. And
Yeah.
I'm a,
It's like, I'm gonna Facebook,
yeah,
and you're gonna start sending stuff for me.
yeah, and yeah, his database and your database.
So that could double this,
That's right.
right there.
Um,
Oh, here it is, it tells you down in the bottom, okay. No, it's not on the slide, but it's here in the book.
what's that?
According to the National Realtors Association, the typical person moves every 8 years.
8 years.
And according to the 2020 US Census, home ownership rates in the US is 64.8. If we use, if we can assume that 64.8 of your database is a homeowner, and they are going to move every 8 years, that means about 8.1% or 0.81% of your database will buy, sell, or buy and sell a home every year. So there's your.
Yeah. 0.125 times 0.64 gives you that 0.08. I knew there was a methodical way to it. I just forgot.
Read the notes.
I did not, I don't have that on my end, but I'm glad you found it.
I like to know what I'm doing.
Right? Yeah, because some of these numbers, they feel like they're made up, but I assure you, they're not. Because just like that number there,
Blows my mind, just thinking about people moving every 8 years. So I grew up in a family that was extremely rooted. The house that I grew up in, we didn't move. I was brought home from the hospital, we didn't move until I was 10. And that was because my dad got a job on the other side of the country.
yeah,
My dad still owns the house that we moved to.
wow,
It's. They've been there 25 years now? No, longer than that, close to like 30 something years.
wow.
And he actually just, when my mom passed away, he set up a deed trust. That my sister will have it, and he's gone, and I'm like.
Huh.
We beat the odds.
Right, yeah. Well, I think what you just described too is more so a generational trend. You don't see that as much once you navigate below the baby boomers. And I think there's a lot of different stuff that, contributes to that, obviously.
There's a ball home neighborhood going up in our, right next to where I live.
Okay.
They just were developing a whole swath of property, and I was laughing because. Literally, it started in 2022,
Uh-huh.
and it's halfway done, it's in like phase 2 right now. And one of the houses, they just laid the sod and it's for sale by overtime. In the yard.
Huh.
How long have you been in that?
Right.
8 months?
Well, and that is I guess a benefit to buying a ball home due to their network, their system and process. Like nobody can touch their pricing when it comes to building a new home. So when you lock in that price today, and by the time you close on it, usually, at least the market that we've been in, you've got significant equity there by the time you close. So in 8-12 months time, you're in an equitable position where you can sell and pay a commission sometimes and still net some money. However, subject to capital gains since it's less than 2 years, but consult a tax professional always.
Yeah, so, okay.
So we know what our database is worth when we.
It's a little mathy, nerdy viewer.
Yeah,
Don't
let's get there.
these models here.
So your database, aha, so far.
That I'm losing money.
One way to look at it.
I need to work harder. Or maybe I need to work smarter.
Smarter. Always remember, it's simple, it's just not easy. Sometimes it's easy though. So we've already covered how many people you have in your phone and how many potential sales they represent in the next year. Your contact list is a database. Your social media is another potential database. I mean, to me, social media, that's it's becoming the kind of your cable TV, right? Because cable TV is almost extinct. And now we have all these apps, right? We're in the app age where we, even when we get on computer or on the TV, we're on apps oftentimes, right? With Netflix, with YouTube TV, all that stuff.
Somebody opened the phone line.
Oh yeah.
Because I think between all of the different streaming systems,
Mhm.
you're paying more than you did for.
Oh, it's way worse. It's the worst now.
Like my husband and I, there was a show that we wanted to see. All 3 months, we wanted to watch the new Duck Dynasty.
Oh yeah.
You can't get it unless you have A&E. And the only way to get A&E is to get Disney Plus, you know?
And you gotta bundle that with this guy. Yeah. It's absurd, and they're getting better and better at, lead generating and increasing their margins because technology is getting better where you can't really share your account unless they're within the same home. I just the other day had to upgrade my account for my mom because she lives back 2 hours away, and used to it worked just fine, but they've cracked down on that and increased the membership, right, as they do periodically.
My husband and I had Netflix back when you could get the streaming and the DVD.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And it was like
Not,
$8 a month.
yeah, $8-9.
And
That,
it's so reasonable, and they had like all these old movies
oh
that
yeah,
are discontinued, and it was great.
yeah, and now you don't have the DVDs anymore, which is fine, but you've got a much wider selection. But the point being, like, what do we get? Why did we go there to begin with? Well, we were upset with the cable companies for price gouging us and not offering us a true value. Yeah, and now we're just so distracted with all the different apps. It's hard to look up and realize that you're oftentimes paying twice as much as you did for cable. Yeah. So that was.
I'm gonna go for this coffee.
Yeah.
I need
I'm just gonna finish this segment and then we're gonna take a quick minute break. We'll get back to it. If we are going to be in a relationship with our contacts in a professional sense, we need to have them organized and accessible in a smart database. Though your phone may be smart, it's unlikely that your database is yet. Today, we will touch a bit on feeding your database. In the next session, we will cover how to make your database smart. You have a sphere of influence, a database, and you've been generating leads from that database by communicating with it strategically. How have we already been lead generating in this class? What tool or system have we been using? Anything you'd like to add there, Heather?
As far as how or what?
How we've been lead generating so far in Ignite?
In Ignite, just making sure that you're making your calls, touching your database, learning how to do the social media engagement posts. I think the big thing too with the social media is not just always harping on real estate, but like also providing value and telling people what's going on.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, your social media is your brand.
Because
And-
you don't want people muting your social media because, oh, that person always talks about real estate.
Exactly. Because if they're not in the market, they don't most likely want to hear it unless they're just your biggest fan and they love seeing you thrive. But going back to, the app age, well, what else is an app? Social media, Facebook, Instagram. So that's your personal channel. That's your personal brand. And what you put out there will determine your audience that sticks around, that keeps coming back, whether it grows or dwindles. Now that you've already begun lead generating, you have a database, an SOI, let's dig into the most important model in your business, the lead generation model. Lead generation, you will hear this over and over again throughout your career. It really is the most important activity. We've already discussed that. It's the first thing you need to know to start your real estate business, and it's the last thing you will give up doing yourself if you decide to start a team and leverage your business to the point that you are no longer involved in the day-to-day of running it. Think about that. What we are learning today is the foundation for a million, multi-million, and even billion-dollar business. This is also why your time each day completing your daily success system along with your peers and facilitator is so important. Couple things to consider while I go fill up my water bottle. What are your ahas about the lead generator, about being the lead generator for your business? How might you shift your mindset to overcome your fears about the lead generation process? Be right back.
Yep, go for it.
And we're back. Anything come to mind when I said, how might you shift your mindset to overcome your fears about the lead generation process?
I think the big one for me is back with the one that you were talking about, lead generating. Difficult or not knowing what to say, just shifting it, saying, okay, I may not know what to say, but I can find what to say.
That's right. Yep. Another little mental hack that I've used is like, I think even with the fears and myths side, the words in orange, it said something about it's just not fun. Well, what if it was fun? Right? What if you shifted your thinking around that? And I'm not saying, you have to convince yourself that, things that you absolutely hate doing are fun. That's one way you can hack it. I've done it before. It's not long term. Long term is more so how can you tailor your lead generation so it's something that maybe you're already doing. It's just becoming more intentional with that. Like if you go get coffee somewhere, if you're, at the grocery store, at the same grocery store often, or you go to the farmer's market on the weekend, like just being intentional in that conversation, get to know another person, because what usually happens naturally is they're going to ask you about you. Real estate's going to come up. And that's going to give you an opportunity to, maybe get their information, at the very least, give them a business card, right? Or, you've sold candles before. What led you in that business? You like candles?
I am.
You just enjoy them. Did you have a specific niche market there or clientele that you always sold those to?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know you've, mentioned church, and I know that's important to you. So, what would it look like if your lead generation is just serving more? Sunday morning, Sunday night service, Wednesday volunteering, the community events, helping organize some of that stuff, creating a Facebook page, because that's your element. Just, flaunt it, and be intentional and make that your lead generation, because that's what's going to lead to not only long-term success, but also happiness, right? So get into the next part here. We've got about 30 to 45 minutes left, so we'll have somewhat of a speed round, but I won't go too fast. If I need to slow down at any time, just let me know. As you've learned, Keller Williams has a model for everything. It makes sense. There would be a model for your number one job, lead generation, though it may look complicated. It's about one thing: relationships. You are in the relationship business. The more you have, the more business you have. This model tells us how to get in a relationship with people, stay in relationship with them, and be their real estate expert of choice to buy and sell real estate. So, man, what a luxury we have to be in a business as a business owner, and all we got to do is be in relationship with people. If you had told me that when I was in high school, I thought you were crazy. I would have never thought in a million years I would have my own business or be in real estate. But I've always been a relationship type of person. I've always had a variety of friends, different friend groups. I transferred a few times growing up, school wise, and I think that may have helped me a little bit. I've worked a lot of different odd jobs, which, introduced me to a lot of different types of people. So long story short, we're blessed to be in the business that we are, when it's just all we have to do is wake up, be ourselves, be a student and professional of the business, and really just grow our relationships that we already have, connect with new people, and build those. I'm a visual guy. I like pictures, especially when they break down complex systems like this. When you look at that,
See me, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I need my coloring pencils.
yeah, right. Well, when you look at that, it's like, what's going on there? And if you not had a whole lot of experience in a database, or establishing a system to operate that database, this is going to look wildly confusing.
Yes, and please explain it, because although I can somewhat understand it, it is kind of confusing. So the top part, lead generating, obviously.
Lead cap, yep, you lead generate.
And that drips into your goal, which then they form relationships or leads, and then they flow over, pardon me, but it looks like a dam, into contacts that you then essentially nurture.
That's correct.
So you you strengthen that relationship. So they're no longer just a person that you met at the open house. They're somebody that met you for coffee or whatever. And you strengthen that by doing whatever newsletter or email or smart plan that you put them on. And then that prepares them to convert to a buy or sell, and then that converts them to be a raving fan and give you referrals. Is that how this is working? If I'm following?
You nailed it.
Okay.
So starting at the top, lead generation, prospecting, marketing, those are the most fundamental ways that we lead generate. It's activities that deliver leads to our business. So one's outbound, they both create leads, obviously. Marketing is more so driving leads into you, right? Those are inbound. Prospecting, you're reaching out to them directly, right? That's more manual. Marketing is more passive, prospecting is active.
So prospecting would be looking for new, like door knocking.
Door knocking.
But, a lead or marketing would be like, they showed up to an open house, they came to you. Is that what I'm understanding?
The open house is a fun one. It's kind of a little bit of both.
Okay, alright. I gotta put labels on here. Make sure I know what I'm doing.
You are screen sharing. I need to go back to full screen. There we go. Yes, so prospecting, that's that manual activity, door knocking, even calling your database, calling for sale by owners, expireds, calling, for circle prospecting around your listings. So, it breaks it down, prospecting versus marketing. So here's the trade-offs, and this is how you determine what mix of each you can do, right? Because we all have the same what? Time. We don't all have the same money. So what's the main difference between marketing and prospecting? Marketing's money intensive, it's passive, provides you long-term results because you're branding. You're leaving an impression. Prospecting, time intensive, proactive, immediate results. So if you don't have a whole lot of money, brand new in the business, what are you gonna focus in terms of your lead generation efforts? Marketing or prospecting? Well, prospecting, because it costs less. And usually when you're new in the business, unless you have a huge database of people just waiting on you to get licensed so they can just keep you busy and keep your bank account full, then you're gonna have a whole lot of time on your hands.
That's when you take Ignite, C, and all your PLA.
That's right. While you're, constantly working on building that business outside of the learning piece. You're learning, you're implementing, you're learning, you're implementing. And then once your time gets constrained and you've got some excess money, then you can allocate that towards marketing, right? And there's some marketing that you can do that's cost effective or free. It just requires that time. Like we were saying with social media. We've got a tool, fortunately, for our company, Command, that has made that easier for us to create posts for social media, right? And distribute those. So while marketing can be costly, money intensive, there are ways to do that effectively, inexpensive or free because of the social media channel. Now, there's also avenues on those social media channels where you can spend money to boost that post, but that's conversation for another day. I think that is great, but is that where you want to spend your money? Probably not. But if you're looking to get paid tomorrow, prospecting is going to get you the closest there because that's going to put you in front of ready willing buyers depending on who you prospect. That's going to get you to the closing table the quickest. Marketing, passive, long term. You start marketing today, even if you put something out there every day for the next 6 months, you might not close that first deal that comes in from your marketing 12 months from that. Relationship management. This is usually the hardest one for most agents. This is the one that we like to neglect sometimes more than lead generation. And that starts with a database. It's a container that holds the information of your leads and contacts. Because the first step is generating that lead, getting that contact information. Well, that's pretty much useless if you don't have a system or a tool to store that somewhere, right? Because you just had a 10-minute, a 2-hour conversation with somebody that maybe totally forgot about a month from now, unless you've got them in your database and you're working that systematically. And that's where that smart database, data bank allows you to have planned and meaningful communication, because it allows you to identify who has a need, who doesn't, what can my message be to that person. And as long as I do that on a routine basis. So here you go. Perfect segue.
I think too for you, the database, but I've been using it for. With command is. When you make that phone call to that person, you can click on their name
Uh-huh.
and then. From your phone, call them in command. Because then it'll track it that you contact them. But then also having your laptop and opening the note. Add note, and then I've been putting forward. And. Writing down as we go through, making it flow.
Yeah.
Conversation.
Details.
But then actually documenting what they're telling me about their family, about their job, their recreation, especially as we're headed out of summer and into school, being like, hey, did you do anything fun?
Yeah, how was your summer?
Caught up with you, like the kids are back to school, what's going on? And then that way it saves it in your command so that when you go back to calling them as you go through your database, you could just pull that note up and then you can add a new note and update.
What would you use? How would you use the old note?
To reference,
Yeah.
because then you can say, hey, last time we talked, we were headed back into school, the kids were doing soccer, like, how's that going?
Yeah. And what does that demonstrate to them?
That you're paying attention and that
That you're,
listening to them.
that's it. And ultimately,
And-
that makes
and
them feel
you
important.
are listening to them, but you're actually making a note because you know yourself that you're gonna talk to 400 people between now and the next time you talk to them, and you may not remember.
That's
It's
right.
like one of the people that I called Tuesday, they got a puppy. It's 10 weeks old right now. She's great training. Whenever I talk to her again, I can be like, hey, how's great training going?
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that, because that's spot on. Like, it's not to discount that person or that interaction that you have, because if you have a big goal, you've got to have a big life and you've got to have a lot of relationships. So it's twofold. It's A, so that you can remember, and B, so you don't have to remember. Right? Because if you have to talk to that many people to hit your goals, 400, what's the likelihood you're gonna remember all that? Even if you could, do you really want to drive yourself crazy doing that? Yeah, should you? So that's exactly.
Yeah, so I love that.
Yeah.
That it can track that, and then it's something else that I've used the notes section for Philip when I was doing that was he has determined what he uses for a seller's closing gift and what he uses for a buying closing gift, and he has a lot of repeat clients, so he doesn't want to give them the same thing.
Yeah. Right.
So going into the notes and writing on such and so a date, this is what you gave them closing on this address. So that next time he can go, okay, hey, we did this, I have a alternate closing gift that I can use for them for this day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And those little notes, they come in handy. You know, going back to that referral I told you about downtown Lexington. They're big art people. I knew that. Of course, I recorded that in my CRM, my database. And what did I get them for closing? You don't even have to do anything crazy. It doesn't have to be anything lavish, $1,000. You don't have to do all that. It could be something as simple as a tailored gift to them because they've mentioned it to you when you were looking at a house 3 months ago, that whatever their favorite bourbon or wine was. But for those folks, I got them because the wife was an artist and, you know, they had a lot of artwork around the home. I got her one of those renderings of that house because I knew how much sentimental value they had there because she and he, you know, essentially expressed themselves through that home. There's a lot of art, not only on the walls, but even out in the yard, their landscaping. They had the wildflowers, the sunflowers, they had the book, the book box in their front yard. So and
And that
looking
meant
at
something
that
to them.
meant something to them. So I, you know,
But
I
yeah,
took the time to,
making sure you're using those notes in your database
that's the name of the game, absolutely.
helpful,
Yeah.
because then you're not trying to do it
And forget, yeah,
and then you look. See,
yeah, like a robot.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we get going so fast and there's just so many distractions in technology, we forget to be a person sometimes. So I got a very heartfelt response back from them when they received that in the mail because not only did I send them that picture, but I took the time to write out a little heartfelt note to them based on our experience together. And you know, why I'm giving them
things
that
people
picture.
remember.
Absolutely. Now, did I have ChatGPT help me craft that, mold my note? Absolutely. Because sometimes it's hard to come up with words. And if we think about them too much, that will create analysis for hours and we'll never do it.
Goodness, we got over here.
Not too much. So fundamentally relationship management, you segment that database. Once they're in there, you've got leads and you've got contacts, right? A lead, people who you have earned the right to at least have a one-way conversation with. Way I define a lead is it's someone that I've got contact info, I've got permission to contact, and they may have a real estate need sometime in the next 12 months. A contact, these are people you've held a two-way combo with and whom you've established a value-based relationship with. So what that means to me is that could be anybody in my system that currently does not have a real estate need. They're not an active client. They're not a hot prospect or a nurture. They're not ready to go on an appointment anytime soon. But we've had a two-way conversation and we've built a relationship and I've earned permission to, you know, connect with them in the future. Relationships must be attended to, cared for, and cultivated. I know we've talked about that. So, you know, just putting them in the database won't do the trick. You'll get, you know, something from that maybe. But if you want the best bang for your buck and really grow your business, be in relationship with those contacts on in your database. That takes just a name and a phone number and converts it into a person in our life. You know, one of the sayings I've heard recently that I've never heard that I really like, especially as a real estate agent, we talk about how busy we are and how fast life comes at us. I heard a guy say the other day, life doesn't come at us, it comes from us. Right? And I thought that was very powerful because oftentimes we get in our own heads, we think how busy we are, and you know, it's a victim mindset. Life's coming at us, but that's not true. It comes from us and how in the energy that we bring day to day to other people's lives.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Types of communication: phone call, email, text message, face-to-face, KW app, handwritten communication. Anything else you can think of that's missing from there? pretty much it, right?
Pretty
Wait,
much covers it.
what do you need to have a phone call or a text message? You need a phone number.
I think too, for me, as a people person, sometimes text messages and emails are hard to judge. Because you don't have the fluctuation in people's voices.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, if it's somebody that I'm really connecting with, the voice texts are really nice.
Yeah, if it's someone that I don't have a super personal relationship with, I try to avoid text or any kind of digital text correspondence at all costs because of that reason.
Right, and I think that was something that Stephen gave me as a good idea of actually recording like a video
Mm-hmm.
to text.
Yeah,
Or doing the actual voiced text, like
Yeah.
you're leaving them a voicemail.
absolutely.
Because then they can hear their voice too. And it-
Know that you're a real person.
Recognition.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, in order to do that, of course, you have to have a phone number.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, but these, just thinking about ways to use those
Mm-hmm.
options.
Absolutely. Email, you gotta have an email address. Face to face, you just gotta have some way of connecting with.
Down for coffee.
Handwritten communication, what do you need?
Handwritten. Paper.
Right. Well, what do you need from them?
Their address.
Their address, right? Which that's all covered. And you mentioned earlier. Client and referral loop. So once you've done that effectively, not only will you convert some of those leads and contacts into clients, but as long as you deliver on your promises and provide them exceptional service, your database will generate leads in the form of new, repeat, and referral business. So those people that you help buy or sell, as long as you maintain that relationship with them, well, they're going to come across other people who can buy and sell, people from work, friends, family, and who are they going to think about? Well, Heather did an exceptional job for us last fall. You should connect with her. Or you want to jump ahead of that bullet, you let them know how to send you a referral. Because what I've found oftentimes is it's great for them to give them your business card, and I'm grateful for that. However, people don't need you until they need you, right? So what happens, especially when someone is looking to buy? Well, oftentimes they're starting that search online, usually as a Zillow. And like I said, people don't need you until they need you. And they don't need you until the right property hits the market or the right condition occurs in the market. So it's a lot easier to click that button online than it is to go find your card that they got from a coworker or a friend several months ago.
Right, and I
Uh,
think that's where that book, was so helpful, Raving Fans. Read that?
what is it?
Raving Fans.
Mm-mm. I've heard about it though.
That one's a good one.
So I always tell people like, hey, I appreciate you giving them my card. In the future, or even with this person, like what I found, I went through the whole spiel of like people don't need you until they need you. If you really think they would be in the best hands working with me, get their permission to send me their contact. Or if you feel comfortable sending me their contact, put the ball in my court so I can go ahead and connect with that person. Because fact of the matter is, you can never start the process too soon. Now, I'm not saying if you're looking to buy next spring, we need to meet now and get you pre-approved. What I'm saying is having a conversation about getting some of those ducks in a row now is going to make sure you're in a position to buy in your ideal time frame.
Right, and I think too, the other one that I've seen people do, and what I have done in the past as a hairstylist, is when you give them your card, have their name written on the back, so that when that card comes back to you, and tell them, hey, if you ever refer to me, please have them bring me this card.
Oh, I love that.
So that you can collect them and say, well, when I was a salon, you can't do this as a agent. But hey, when I get 5 cards back from you,
Uh-huh.
I have a gift for you.
Yeah.
We can't do that as an agent,
but there are other.
There's ways
benefits.
around, yeah, there's loopholes of how you frame that, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not the person to talk to about that stuff, but,
More both.
yeah, that's more about.
Yeah, but saying, hey, I'm gonna give you 5 cards, with your name on the back, make sure if you hand them out that they bring them back to me.
If I get these 5
And
back,
if-
I'm gonna include you in our VIP club.
Yeah.
And we
Or-
do quarterly raffles.
Whatever,
Yep, yep.
but yeah, that's something else too, because
It's something about a
Incentive.
rebate and I can't remember what the other one is, but.
yeah, but that's something that I've done in the past.
Oh, yeah, it can be very effective.
Kind of like a punch card.
For some of these restaurants,
Mhm.
yep. And people enjoy that kind of stuff. It's fun, right?
Right.
It's
And then
real, it's
it
tangible.
Takes it back to your thing of making that call of action, something fun,
Yeah, absolutely.
something that they're actually gonna do.
And it, there's an importance assigned to that physical piece of cardboard or whatever, business cards are made of, some form of paper. Put it all together, lead generation never ends, is best when time block determines the size of your business. Size of your database will, in fact, determine the size of your business. You can't close 100 deals if you've only got 50 people in your database, can you?
Nope.
I mean, you can, but you're gonna burn yourself out pretty quick because you're having to manage all that in your head.
Well, that and there's only so far that 50 people can go,
That's it.
especially if you have 50 people like my dad who don't buy.
Don't move. Yeah, exactly. So as you see what I'm doing here. I've deviated from the plan. Yeah, pretty much covered up. So as you nurture your leads and contacts and continue to lead generate for new sources of business, you will either be transacting from new, repeat, and or referral business. The most important thing to remember is that lead generation is something that, as I said, never ends, should be time blocked daily for the best result and determines the size of your business. And essentially, it is the how that will help you reach your goals for starting this career. In our last section today, we are going to discuss time blocking for lead generation, the most sacred time in each of our days. Before we move on, any questions, ahas?
You're doing great.
Perfect.
Sorry, we're going all.
No, you're fine. I mean, I deviated from the plan. We had a nice chat.
Getting something out of it though. So.
Well, good, because honestly, I just turned over 5 pages, and most of our chat included what we were supposed to cover anyway. So we are on topic and moving on. In previous sessions of Ignite, we have touched upon your sphere of influence. Today, we will be digging deeper into your SOI and why it's so important for your business. Here's a hint. Your SOI is likely to be your biggest source of new, repeat, and referral business. But how?
How, Dustin?
Your sphere of influence are the people in your life that you influence and who influence you.
I looked through this list and I'm like, I know I found people in pretty much every one of these places. It's just making that light switch on and be like, oh, that person. Obviously, teachers, that one's a hard one for me because it's like, my mom.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Don't have a whole lot of those.
But again, back to like I said, the referral came from a Sunday school teacher, so that counts.
Yeah, absolutely does. Yeah, I mean, your sphere of influence can be anybody. It can be your preacher, your priest. It can be the cashier at the local grocery store. Anybody that knows you, likes you, trusts you, and is most likely willing to do business with you or send you business is who I consider as my personal sphere of influence.
With that,
Yep.
since we're doing sphere of influence. What is your take on taking things that you're actually interested in? Me, dogs, Lexington, events, farmers markets, and joining all of those subgroups
I think it's
in Facebook.
a great idea.
And then not necessarily selling the real estate, because a lot of those, they have agreements that you have to make from not trying to sell anything. But then actually, if you find that you're talking to someone or commenting on the same ones, send them a text. Is that?
Absolutely. I
Okay,
think so.
sometimes I'm like, I feel like I'm creepy.
Yeah. Well, I'm the worst when it comes to that kind of stuff, like social media. Actually,
See, I'm OG. I only have Facebook, and I will only have Facebook for
Yeah.
my business. I have Instagram, but that is like my family private,
yeah,
and
I think that's perfect because I think the majority as it currently stands now, I think generationally, as the younger generations get a little bit older, myself, those below me, Instagram will potentially play a bigger role. But right now, Facebook is the business side of things, and the personal side of things. But my mom, she's on there daily. Everybody that she knows is on there daily. People that I know are on there frequently. My friends, I get lost on there, so I've stayed off of there the past several years. Yeah, yeah. Now, fortunately, I've got a team, and Emma helps manage a lot of my page. Yeah, I don't get lost in the sauce or analysis paralysis of what to caption this post as. Drives me nuts. But moral of the story, it's super critical, and that is a breeding ground for relationships. I know that.
I feel like that's again, like, okay, I noticed that I talk to this person a lot on this like group. What's happening in Nicholasville? I find myself commenting on the same things as this one specific lady.
Yeah,
Okay, send her a friend request, and then off that, be like, hey. Know anybody that wants to buy stuff?
that's exactly right. Yeah, because that's connecting with new people and building a relationship with them. And going back to my point earlier, your social media, that's your channel, that's your brand. What you put out there will attract the audience that you want to work with throughout your career. And what you just described is exactly that. Like, you wouldn't have that person if you didn't like a lot of the same stuff, comment on a lot of the same stuff, essentially have a lot of stuff in common,
And
right?
that's what I'm thinking. So I'm like, okay, well. Here you go, and you never know, you might find a friend for life.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Even if the real estate version doesn't work.
yeah. I mean, we're all in this human experiment together. And it's all about the relationships and the people that we have in our life that, make it great or good.
Yeah.
Moral of the story is though, be yourself. Anytime somebody asks me about a social media strategy, number one, just get on there, get out there, put yourself out there. Number two, just be yourself because your vibe's going to attract your tribe. And those are the people that are not only going to come to your page, be in relationship with you, but they're also going to be the people that typically stick around. Everybody else that unfollows you because you're putting yourself out there because you're promoting your personal brand or your professional brand, you didn't want those people to begin with, right?
Those are the activities.
So SOI, it's important to connect with them systematically, efficiently, and effectively. We're going to get into that a lot over the rest of Ignite. In order to get the most out of the follow-up, you want to get the most people into your sphere. Now let's expand beyond your immediate relationships.
That is something that I also really like about them.
What's that?
The fact that they get out. I
Mhm.
love red days. I wish they had more red days.
Yeah. Well, they do the blood drives and whatnot too.
Yeah. It actually floors me sometimes. I wore my red day shirt a couple weeks ago, just randomly. And I was at Sam's Club and this person, I've never met them. I have no idea. He walked up and he's like, I'm so glad you guys do red day. I'm like,
Who's this?
thank you.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Keller Williams is the best. And I'm like, thanks. And then he just kept walking.
Yeah. Oh, he must be familiar with the culture.
Yeah.
Or he made it.
Like, and it didn't even give me a chance to like be like, well,
Respond. Yeah, you're kind of a little bit off guard because most people don't know what Red Day even is.
But it was the culture always wins one from a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it says culture always wins, and then it says red day on the back. And, but he knew
He
exactly.
knew exactly what it was. Well, chances are he's probably already committed to Keller Williams agent, probably lifelong.
Probably. But it was still really funny because most people don't say anything.
I've not had any.
anywhere.
I've got several Red Day shirts, and I don't know that anyone's asked me. Now I only wear them to the gym probably, and sometimes out and about. But
Love my red day shirts.
yeah, I do too.
The only one I don't wear very often now for me, it's a bluegrass one from last year when I did it with Philip.
Uh-huh.
I did red day with Philip last year and I have a Keller Williams bluegrass.
Oh, the bluegrass KW. Gotcha.
So that one stays at the house or at the gym.
No, is it branded to? Okay, got it. I couldn't remember if they're branded to the brokerage. Then that makes sense. You got to put that. You got to put that branding on there. Make it a marketing write-off. So let's expand beyond your immediate relationships. One way to expand your sphere of influence is change how you think about the relationships around you. Let's look at these 15 categories and see if we can expand on the roles or relationships you may have within each category. So we've got immediate family, friends, we've talked about relatives, neighbors. Something that, hadn't came up when we're talking about your sphere, past co-workers, spouse co-workers and past, hobby, sports groups, teachers you mentioned, worship, club, volunteer. I think that would probably be the church.
My husband and I, as soon as he gets fully recovered from his knee replacement, we're gonna get back into ballroom dancing, so that's.
There you go.
Whole sphere.
That's a fun one. Yeah. That's, living a life by design. You're doing something you all enjoy together and you're meeting new people and building relationships, right?
I'm excited.
How crazy is that? Having a hobby, doing something you enjoy while also lead generating and lead following up. Following up the lead.
Again, another Facebook group that I just recently joined the staff, ballrooms,
Oh, very cool.
private.
Now, if you really want to get ahead of the curve, you find or you stumble across some group, some community that doesn't already have a page, create one. Professional services. I know you had mentioned, going through some of those people like a vet, veterinarian, tax professionals, attorneys. I mean, heck, how many attorney situations come up in what we do on the day to day? You start talking about estates, wills, trusts.
Also, something that someone has mentioned to me earlier is a former admin, making sure that you have a divorce attorney
Oh, yeah.
that you are referring to and.
Hopefully they're reciprocating that. Absolutely.
Because those ones are almost 100% good sale on.
Oh, yeah. And I went to a class yesterday at Bluegrass, Elbar, and it was Dennis Mattingly, yes, Mattingly. They were talking about wills, trusts, estates, stuff like that. And I mean, he asked the question, how many of us are gonna die?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Unless.
Unless the rapture happens. Now, With that being said, how many people have taken the steps to be prepared for that? Well, the stat is 45% of Americans. So,
My husband and I have already bought land, so.
part what do you have a plan for that if, God forbid, something were to happen to
No. Lots,
oh plots?
yeah.
Yeah.
We've already bought.
Oh, gotcha. I see.
It's so funny when I came in that day after we paid for it.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, Philip, we bought some land, and he's like, and you didn't use me?
Yeah, right.
It's like, well, you don't really sell this.
Yeah.
Unless you have something to tell me.
This isn't a really big lot.
It's very small.
It's more, I think it's probably deeper than it is wide.
Wide.
Yeah. That's fun. Personal services, nails, hair, massage, trainer, babysitter, home and auto, landscapers, painter, car detailer, housekeeper, because
And some of these are really good to also have in your sphere, because again, goes back to the whole providing value of referring, hey, you're getting ready to market your house, let's work on the curb appeal. I know a landscaper.
or you're thinking about, maybe selling next year, but you got some things that you need to address before that time comes. Well, sounds like you need some great contractors. Is that what I'm hearing? You got anybody? Well,
Right.
I'll send you over my list.
Helping them get business, they're more than likely gonna come to you and be like, hey, they're always referring me to people, how about I use you to
That's right.
make this move?
Another way they provide you value is, during the inspection phase, you need to get somebody out there to quote something. Well, if you're constantly sending them business, what's the likelihood that they're gonna, number one, take your call in a responsive manner and get to that house, get to that property to take a look at whatever came up on that report?
Right.
And, depending on how good how much of a relationship you have with that person and how much you nurture it and bring value to it, oftentimes they'll do that for free. And that's a value add to them. That's a value add to you and your clients. And that's gonna help you build great things.
It's activity.
So we're gonna skip the 2 minute
Yeah.
brainstorm, but
Go for it, because we've pretty much gone over, I'm looking through this and I'm like, we already talked about that.
and how to come up with that database. So that too will aid, some of the challenges you expressed earlier in trying to find people to add or connect with to add to that database. So build it day by day. Are you ready to shift your mindset again? Who is ready to shift their perspective to help build their business? You say,
I have ideas for that one. For that.
great. I want you to think back on your day yesterday. We are going to take just a couple of minutes, probably not though, to think back on it from the time you got up to the time you went to bed. When you woke up and what did you do? Call your mom, look at the news on your phone, check your email, wake your kids up, grab your workout clothes and go for a run. Take yourself through your day. Just go through your day, wake up, shower, send a couple emails, get in the car, to drive to get coffee, run in the errand, drop off your dry cleaning. Just take a minute and write down where you went and what you did yesterday. I think that is a good exercise. However, for the sake of time,
Yeah, we're good. I know where I'm going with that.
yeah. So now that we have that, I want you to think about that list, who you interacted with, or who you spoke to during those moments, because I think this is getting at that intentionality piece. Who was the first person you interacted with? Did you have a conversation? What did you talk about? Who did you email? Who did you call? Or who called you? Who did you say hi to, give an order to, or smile at? Did you wave at your child's friend, your child's friend's mother at drop off? Did you smile at the barista before you took your order at the coffee shop? Did you say hi to your neighbor while walking your dog? It's so easy to get so caught up in our own day and our own lives to just, sometimes give that person just a smile and a nod or maybe nothing at all.
Yeah, I think, for me, yesterday was a lot of spouse interaction, my in-laws are in town. So we just kind of spent time. We did a lot with Tristan.
Yeah. Well, he's got a big brain. I try to get as much information
Well,
from him
he
as
taught
possible.
us last yesterday, so it was me and him
Oh,
yesterday.
nice. Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. No, he's a gem.
Talked to Steven, did some grocery shopping. That was pretty much it. So.
So thinking about those interactions, those people that you interacted with yesterday, identifying those activities. I want you to think about those interactions. Could you deepen your relationship with those people? Could you have smiled at the neighbor and politely said, you know, we see each other every day and I don't know your name. I'm Dustin. Of course you could. What about those you didn't interact with? Could you have smiled and said good morning to the barista rather than just ordering? Yes, you could. It's time to change the way you look about your days. You aren't just running errands. You're meeting potential buyers and sellers. You aren't just ordering coffee. You're creating a relationship with the people who help you. And because of that relationship, you may be poised to help them the day they are ready to buy or sell real estate. Your job is to meet and connect with people. If you think about that, it's kind of amazing. That is absolute gold. And moral of the story, just be intentional, be a human. What's the old saying? You attract more bees with honey. In this next activity, you'll be having a discussion with a partner to go over your daily activities. The goal of this activity is to help each other identify places where you both might interact more with your sphere of influence and get into relationship with potential leads. We're going to skip that and go to this next part. Bold law. So essentially what we just talked about, changing how we look at our days, this bold law resonates exactly with that.
I'm gonna make you laugh.
Go ahead.
Keller Williams Bluegrass, they had all the different bold laws. That always got me was the don't make your drunk monkeys make the decision.
Yeah, no, that's a fun one. Absolutely.
It's fun.
Yeah, we all have a drunk monkey. I remember even in so after school, I did car sales for about 9 months, and there was an old guy. He was a lifer. He had been in car sales probably his entire life, and he was perfect for it. As a new salesperson, there's a learning curve there.
Yeah.
And I was awfully backwards during this time, just who I was. And he came up to me one day and he said, "How's Raul doing?" I said, "Raul?" He said, "Yeah, that monkey you got on your back." And getting into real estate and going through bold and what you just said, like that's the drunk monkey that he was talking about. That monkey that's on my back in my ear telling me all the things, talking me out of the things that I need to be doing. But this one I like. It's one of my favorite that stands out. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change.
Yeah, it makes me think of the part of the test that is in the KPA. I like that section where they're like, look at this, and is it the same?
Oh yeah. It's been a long time since I took the KBA. I can
You
even
should
remember. Yeah, that's what they say. You should take it.
Once they're
periodically.
yeah, Joseph made me take it. Well, he did. He suggested it.
Encouraged it. Yeah, it is. I mean, because
But that section, it has like 2 different blocks.
Yeah.
And they're like, is this the same or different? And you go through like several different ones, and I'm like, oh, no.
yeah, what even is this? What am I doing right now?
It could be.
Yeah, but to grow personally and professionally, really boils down to mastering yourself. In order to master yourself, you need to know yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, and those personality tests can be insight into that. You know,
And I think that's, again, going back to the whole thing that I like about Keller Williams and Gary, about saying it's not always about money. It's about self-growth, and the money will come with that.
That's right. Because if you work on yourself and you bring enough value and you shine a bright enough light, a beacon, enough people will come your way.
Totally.
Yeah,
Moths to a flame.
that's right. All right.
Good job, Dustin, good job.
Thank you, thank you.
Give me that tub to, if you,
Hopefully, hopefully I'm being helpful. Today's been a success. As you saw in the last exercise, sometimes all you need to do is think about things from a different angle and you can achieve more. You found more members of your sphere of influence simply by viewing them as categories of people you know. At KW, we have a coaching program called BOLD that you'll have the opportunity to experience at some point. BOLD stands for Business Objective, a Life by Design. Yep, September 30th, Tuesdays, coming up. September 30th through November 3rd, I think. One of the great things about BOLD is that it helps you create a mindset of abundance and growth. BOLD helps you to shift your mindset using BOLD laws. This is one of those laws. Change the way you look at things and things you look at change. So going back to what we had said before, like rather than thinking about lead generation as something that, you know, for lack of a better term, sucks or isn't fun. What if we change that? What if it was fun? What if it was something we were already doing and we just had to be intentional with it? Rather than, you know, dreading calling this seller and telling them the bad news that, you know, the inspection identified a lot of issues and the buyer is wanting to back out unless we do these things. Like that's a tough conversation to have. I don't care who you are. However, if you shift that framework and say, hey, what an opportunity to help this person I have. And not only am I going to deliver this in a light way so that it's not too crushing of a blow, I'm going to present to them some options that we have. And I'm going to give them all the information so that they can be confident and comfortable that this is the best path forward, whatever that might be. Because the quicker I have that conversation, the quicker I get my time back. The more I spend in my head about that conversation, not only am I losing time, but I'm disconnecting myself from that relationship with that client because they're holding their property off the market. I'm thinking selfishly when I think about it that way.
yeah.
All right, so what you just did with the 15 categories was a simple example of changing how you look at things. So the things you look at change. You change how you look at those, you know, and we're able to find more people by doing so. Being a successful agent isn't about finding more people to help and serve in buying or selling homes. When you change how you look at your world, you will find more of those people that you can help. We're going to skip the ahas. We've now talked about the lead generation model and why your SOI is one of the most important lead generation sources you have. We've also talked about just how many people are already in your SOI and explained it by shifting how we think about it. Are you ready to expand your sphere of influence even further? Well, I'm glad you are, Heather. A good touch campaign consists of several types of interactions. We kind of briefly mentioned that earlier. Face-to-face, email, handwritten notes, etc. In order to complete these touches with everyone in your SOI in database, you need to have all their contact info.
Yes, you do.
We know we need to fill in information for our contacts. What type of info do we need? You highlighted the most critical and fundamental pieces of information we have to create those opportunities to nurture that relationship further. Contact info is important because we want to reach out to them in various ways. A handwritten card makes a big impact, yet it's more expensive and time consuming than an email. A handwritten card may not be the best channel for a lot of information. Imagine mailing an update on the homes that have sold in your SOI's neighborhood versus sending an email. With the email, your sphere of influence has the ability to click on the hyperlinks to learn more about the homes in their neighborhood. Not only do you want a contact, not only do you want a contact information, you also want to gather their personal info. Not only do you want contact info, they just put an A in there on accident. You want to gather personal info, like you were talking about earlier, with people's work. Why do you want personal info? Because it gives us something to reach out about and it helps us know them and their needs better. What type of personal info do we want? Birthday, favorite color, where they're from, family status, kids' birthdays, hobbies, etc. Dogs' names even. That's a fun one. Ask if you know it's someone's birthday, what could you do? Or if you know it's someone's birthday, what could you do? Send them a card, give them a call, shoot them a text, or all three. Do you get any of it birthday cards in the mail?
Do I? Occasionally,
Occasionally, right? Who do you get them from?
mostly.
Mostly family.
But it is really fun, Philip does still send that, he still has me, like I was laughing yesterday, because I got. His football schedule.
Oh, yeah.
The magnet.
Yep. And when you get those things in the mail, how do you feel?
It's fun.
It feels great.
It's not junk and it's not bills.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's about all that comes to the mail is junk and mail or junk and bills. We all get those texts or calls from certain people, and you go online, you got a bunch of stuff on Facebook from some people you know, some people you don't know.
I mean, it goes back to your whole thing. If I were to ever come up with a deal that I thought, hey, I can't handle this, I don't think anybody in my office can handle this, or I know for a fact Philip can handle this, I would prefer.
Yeah.
And he and I have already had the conversation that if he gets too busy, he will be preferring me.
Nice.
So we don't have to be on a team
Right.
and we can continue that relationship.
Can still do business together.
Mhm.
That's awesome. And furthermore, related to that like birthday card piece is, well, who are they most likely to remember? The person that, might have sent them a text, might have been an automated text, person that, might have, left HBD on their Facebook page, or the person that sent them that card with a personal message on it. Gonna be that person, right? How do we stand out? How do we name of the game, staying top of mind, being in a relationship?
Sometimes it's not getting the one thing that I like, and another dealer I know that sends a card and it's like actual personal card. Not branded to the business, but they always throw their business card in it.
Yeah,
So it's a true birthday card, not Keller Williams, happy birthday, doesn't have any branding on it. It's like they went to Hallmark and they got him a card, but then they always throw the business card in.
yeah.
And I'm
I've got
like, "It's cool."
a client that makes cards.
Oh, yeah, see, I would love to do that, but I don't have.
Yeah, I can't imagine that hobby. But I get a Christmas card every year and I open it up and she makes those pop-up cards.
Yeah, like the current ones.
Yeah. Which I've been meaning to get with her and like.
Hey, get some nice client cards. That
That's
would
it.
be good.
Yeah.
You got
Because
it in there.
not only are you getting a card in the mail, but it's a pop-up card. Who doesn't love those?
As long as it doesn't have music.
Right.
No.
Well, sometimes she does, but she can put whatever in there. I mean, she gets
So.
crafty in that. Yeah. Very cool.
Put your logo in.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah. Have it pop up down in the corners. Like that. Great idea.
You can send me the.
Yeah.
Send me the.
The invoice. Just kidding. Yeah, I would definitely let you know how that goes because that's on my agenda. All right, so it's the same with other information. Knowing-
And daily.
Knowing they love crochet allows you to see an article online and share it with them. Knowing they have kids lets you wish them a happy summer or drop off a rainy day, keep busy kid during the second straight week of rain. Uh, might we also like to know if they're a homeowner or renter? Obviously. Another way to expand your SOI is to expand what you know so you have more opportunity to connect. We talked about that. The more notes, the more critical pieces of information that you have stored in that database, command, data bank, the more opportunities, more reasons you have to connect with that person because you know them. So another way to expand your sphere is to pull those you have casual relationships with into closer proximity. We've already talked about how we change the way we look at our day and the relationships and people that we interact with. Do you usually play games on your phone when not cheering on your daughter's soccer team? If so, put down the phone and talk to the parent next to you. As we mentioned before, get the name of the barista you see multiple times a week. These folks may or may not be in the market for a home now, but don't forget that 8.1% of the people they know maybe. Remember, this is your career. If they buy a house this year, great. If they buy a house next year, great. If they refer you business and buy multiple times with you over your career, even better. You know your success system and your homework.
Yes, sir.
Keep doing those activities, Heather, and I assure you, you will get your investment back tenfold.
Thank you.
You're very much
It's
welcome.
been helpful.
Any ahas, questions before we adjourn?
No, you're fantastic. I gave you a rating. Good.
I so appreciate that.
And I appreciate, yeah, all the content you've provided.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity and I appreciate you showing up today because this would have been tough with no class.
I actually was using Tristan earlier because Steven called me yesterday. We had some other stuff to discuss and he goes, so I see you didn't show up for Ignite yesterday. I was like, oh no, I was in there. And he's like, well, Tristan taught it from his office. I said, no, Tristan recorded it.
Ah,
I said, Tristan and I had a great time.
yeah. So he didn't come Ignite.
No, he's, you know, leisure this week. He
So-
doesn't have PC coaching, so
Oh, I see.
he taught one session on Tuesday and he stayed at home.
Lucky him. Well, for the sake of the recording, I'm gonna finish up today by moving into our success system, keeping in mind that the purpose is to develop the mindset, skills, and tools you need to build relationships and secure an appointment with a potential buyer or seller. Your daily success system tracker includes 10 conversations with your sphere, people you know and who know you, 10 contacts added to your database, name, phone, address, and more. 10 handwritten notes, express gratitude or let people know you're in real estate and appreciate referrals. Utilize the 10-5-1 model for social media engagement. What is that? 10 likes, 5 comments, and 1 direct message?
It is. I will give it to you really quick. It was day 2. That it was. That was Lexi's. It is, yeah, 10 likes, 5 comments, and something of enrichment.
All right. We will be accomplishing many of these goals during your success system time. Keep doing these activities outside of class. Outside of class time, our time together as well. During the final update time, you may also write notes and engage with social media if time allows. Any questions? Well, great. Had a great time today. Thank you again for attending or watching at home. Save your applause. Season. How I feel about that mic.